Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are on level 8 of lesson 6, random numbers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 activities that we're going to go through. And remember, even if the assessment is over, even if this is like the extra challenges after, you still want to make sure that you go through and you do all of them because they tend to like to put in new code and new activities that you haven't had experience with before. And so it's really important to be able to go through and do all of these. So we're going to start with activity A and let's see what this shows us. All right, so it says random rainbow. This level uses the RGB. See, there's something brand new. This level uses the RGB block to set the color of the rainbow. Since the RGB block uses red, green, blue numerical values, it means we can use random number to generate random colors. Hint, you will need 3 random number blocks to generate one color. Do this. Update the background to be a random color. Update each arc of the rainbow to a random color. Update the ground to a random color. Run your code, verify that all the colors change each time the scene is run. So let's just run it and see what happens first. All right. So that's what it looks like right now. And as you can see, if we reset and run it again, it doesn't change. And that's what we need to change. So, okay, it says you will need 3 random number blocks to generate one color. So for the background, all right, I think, let's see. Uh-oh. Okay, let's bring it back. There we go. There we go. Pulling everything back up. All right. Okay. So RGB, so red, green, and blue. Each of these, so here's the thing that this hasn't really taught you yet. RGB stands for red, green, and blue, and it's a combination of those 3 primary colors. Well, not primary colors, but because green is a combination of yellow and blue. Anyway, but these 3 colors are the ones that kind of help form the colors and pictures when you're using computers. All right. So each color goes somewhere between 0 and 255. I'm really surprised that they didn't actually teach you guys about this. Anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to take and add in a random color, random number. We're going to put it here and we're going to go somewhere between 0 and 255. All right. And then we're going to do it again. And we're going to say between 0 and 255. And then one last time, we're going to go here and we're going to say between 0 and 255. So what that's going to do is it's going to pick a red color somewhere between 0 and 255. And then it's going to pick a green color. And so this number shows you kind of the hue that you're choosing, whether it's going to be a deep dark color or whether it's going to be a light bright color. All of that now is completely random. So if we reset and run, now you can see that it's purple instead of blue. If we reset and run again, all right, so it's still like a purplish color. So let's keep going. Reset, run. All right, now, okay, reset, run. There we go. Now it's going to show you a bit different. So now it's like an olive green. Reset and run. All right, now it's another purple color and more of a gray color. And so that's kind of what we need to do. But we're going to need to do that for each arc of the rainbow to a random color. All right, so I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to go to the text. And what we're going to do is we're going to copy all of this all the way across. I'm going to press Control C. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to paste. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to paste. I'm going to paste. And so I could have used a variable, but if I had used a variable, then that would have been the same color all the way down, and we didn't want that. We want everything to be different, right? So that's why we're making everything different. And then update the ground to a random color. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to go back to blocks and you'll see what I did. There we go. So now all of that is filled in and everything is going to be random. So say goodbye to the standard rainbow and let's see what we end up with. Reset and run. All right, there we go. So now instead of green grass, we have blue grass. Instead of a purple sky, we have a green sky. So let's reset and run again. Reset and run. All right, so we can see kind of that it's working. All the colors are changing to something very random. So we're going to click the finish button and move on to the next activity. All right, so activity B is about symmetry. So it says symmetry. You have learned how to randomize things, but what if you want two random shapes to be related in some way? Using a variable and experimenting with the math operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, can let you create effects like symmetry in your work. Butterfly wing patterns are natural symmetrical. Let me say that again. Butterfly wing patterns are naturally symmetrical. There we go. This drawing's red spots are placed randomly, but the second spot is always the same distance from the right side of the screen as the first spot is from the left. Try to recreate this effect for a second and third spot. All right, so do this. Read the code to see how the first pair of spots are drawn. Show me where. So it's showing us right here, line 20. All right. Update the code for the left yellow spot for the second pair of spots. Add a right yellow spot to the butterfly. So let's run it and see what it looks like right now. Okay, so the red lines are right here. So lines 20 through 26. So variable spot 1, a random number between 90 and 155. Fill it with red color, and then ellipse spot 1, 240, 25, 25. So this is the x-axis, this is the y-axis, this is the width, and then the height. So same thing right here, 400 minus spot 1 for the x, and then 240 for the y, and then 25 by 25 for width and height. So what this is saying is from this side of the screen, from 0, we're going to move up that random number. So let's say that that random number is, oh, I wish we could see the watchers, but they don't have access to them right now. Um, let's just say that it's 150. It's not, but let's say it is. So 0 and then 150. So that gives us spot 1. And then what this is saying is 400, so way over here on the edge, minus that same number. Again, let's say 150, and it's going to go from this edge to here, just like it went from this edge to here. And so basically, you're creating that symmetrical viewpoint. All right. So what we have to do here is we have to create lines 21 through 26, but for spot 2, which is the yellow. All right. So fill yellow, ellipse. So this is, instead of 100, this is going to be spot 2. And then we need to have another ellipse right here. And it's going to be 400 minus spot 2. And then 140 for the y-axis, and then 20 by 20 for the width and height. And if I did this correctly, when we reset it and run, there we go. You can see the red dot and the red dot are symmetrical, and now the yellow dot and the yellow dot are symmetrical. All right. So again, this is why doing the challenge levels are so important, because they didn't talk about RGB. They didn't talk about symmetry in the regular levels. So here we go. We finished this level. We're going to move on to the next, or not this level, the activity. And so random lines is activity C. All right, random lines in the scene below, all it is are a bunch of straight lines. Not very exciting. Make this scene more fun by randomizing the positions of each of these lines. Have fun. So randomize the position of each of the lines. So if we run this, all right. So position, so the Y would be here, from here to here, from here to here, and then the X would be across. And so the question is, do we want to randomize just the X, or do we want to randomize the X and the Y? And I think we want to randomize the X and the Y. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I'm going to put in for the X axis and for the Y axis. And so it could be anywhere from, let's say, 10 to 390. So that means anywhere from like right here. Oh, wait, I lied. This is 0 to 400. All right. I mean, okay. You know what? We'll do 1. How about that? And then we'll do 399. All right. So 1 and 399. So now we're going to do the whole, copy paste thing, because who doesn't like saving time? So Control C. And then from here to here, yes. except I need to add a comma. All right. And so we're going to do the same thing here to here. All right. And then here to here. All right. We're going to keep going. So from here to here, here to here, here to here, and last but not least, here to here. All right. So let's go back to the blocks, make sure it's all looking good. Yep. All right. So let's reset and run. Whoa. That's fun. All right, reset and run, reset and run, reset and run. There we go. So we have randomized the position of each of the lines. Well done, well done, well done. All right. Cool. Okay, so we're going to click on the orange finish button and let's see what's next. So random arcs. Randomize all the properties of these arcs. Okay. All right, so random arcs. In the scene below, all it is are just a bunch of arcs that look alike. Not very exciting. Make the scene more fun by randomizing different properties of these arcs. Randomize the position and angles of each of the arcs. So let's run it and see what it looks like. All right, and so it's going to look like that every time because it's not randomized. So we're randomizing not just the position, but also the angles. So if we look right here, we have the X, the Y, the width, the height, the start, and the stop. So the angle part would come from where does it start and where does it stop. All right, so we're going to drag in, again, the X position. So between 1 and 399. The Y position, 1 and 399. And then here's where it's going to get interesting. Okay, so an arc is part of a circle. But you know what? I think I want it to, do I want it to start at 0? I think I do. I think I want it to start at 0. And so where it will end could be anywhere from 10 to a full circle would be 360 degrees. So let's say 350 degrees. All right. And so let's just see what happens when we do 1. All right, so that's over there. And now, oh, that's over there. All right. All right. And you know what? I'm going to make it a little more fun if I can. I can. Yes. All right. So each arc, I'm going to make it a different color. So there's that. We're going to make a red one. We're going to make a blue one. We're going to make a green one. We're going to make a pink one. And there we go. Okay, so now they're all going to be different colors. See, if I reset and run. Ba-da-da-da. Okay. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, so now I'm going to go to show text. And I'm going to copy all of this. Gonna copy and paste into each one. There we go. And there we go. And there we go. And there we go. All right, so show blocks. That looks about right. So if I reset and run, all right, now we've got all sorts of different arcs. Reset and run, reset and run, reset and run. Yeah, okay, so that's fun. We're gonna click on the finish button and let's keep going. All right, favorite song. So you've used what you've learned so far to create a favorite song. Oh boy. Use what you've learned so far, creating a drawing that represents your favorite song. For example, if your favorite song is Over the Rainbow by Judy Garland, perhaps you draw a rainbow with changing colors, Or if your favorite song is Here Comes the Sun by the Beatles, perhaps you draw a scene with a sun that changes size or location each time the program is run. You may not be able to create the perfect drawing yet, but you can develop a prototype. Remember the word rough draft. So every time you hear prototype, you're thinking, oh, I'm creating something that's not quite finished, but at least it's an example of what I'm trying to do, right? So, but you can develop a prototype which shows the general idea of the scene and some of the basic features behind how it could look. When you're finished, you can click share to send your creation to a friend or remix to send it to your project's gallery. So I'm actually not going to do this level because I want you to share what your favorite song is, not to copy what I think is my favorite song. All right. So all you're going to do is use all of these amazing tools that we've learned how to use over the course of this unit, and you are going to create a drawing that represents your favorite song. All right. So I'm going to let you do this on your own. And so I'm going to go back. Let's take a look at the last challenge. So that's super fun. And then favorite season for F. All right. I think this is going to be another one that you do on your own. Yep. But I'll read the directions. So it says favorite season. Use all that you have learned to so far to create a drawing of your favorite season that changes each time you run the program. For example, if your favorite season is fall, you might draw trees with orange and yellow leaves, and orange and yellow leaves on the ground, which change location on the ground each time you run the program. If your favorite season is winter, you might draw a gray sky with clouds and snowflakes falling, which change location in the sky each time the program is run. You may not be able to create the perfect drawing yet, but you can develop a prototype, there's that word again, which shows the general idea of the season scene and some of the basic features behind how it could look. When you're finished, you can click share to send your creation to a friend or remix to send it to your projects gallery. All right. So with this, you're going to create your favorite season. My favorite season is fall. But again, I don't want you to just copy what I put. I want you to create your own interpretation of this. So I'm going to say good luck with these two. So definitely A, B, C, and D you need to do. And then I would say E or F. But if you're an overachiever that really wants to practice these skills, I would definitely say do both. Um, I'm trying to think of what my favorite song would be. Um, Definitely would be something by Pink. I love Pink. She's an amazing artist, probably the greatest artist of the 21st century. Um, but she's got so many good songs, it's hard to choose just one. But definitely something by her. And then the favorite season, like I said, my favorite season is fall. Winter is a very close second. Um, and so I would do something on that. So anyway, so good luck and enjoy, and I will see you on the next lesson.